Good afternoon. Welcome to Film Board. The first thing I want to do is I want to say a little glory hallelujah. This right here is one of my favorite films. It's called It's Complicated. I remember I watched this a couple years ago. It was like a partial date night. There was alcohol involved, so it didn't quantify. I'll talk to you about that later. I also chose my film at the last spot today as well. It's Complicated. I love it. I rented this from a library and I've been holding on to this film for about like a month already. It's Complicated. I've been holding on to this film for a month. I haven't watched it yet because I don't have the wires that connect the DVD player to the television. But I do have the film and I look at it every day. I'm gonna say a glory hallelujah, alright? I also have Romeo and Juliet, but I'm gonna save that for later. I'm gonna read the um the the synopsis, alright? Two-time Academy Award winner Meryl Streep, Steve Martin, and Alec Baldwin star in this hilarious look at marriage, divorce, and everything in between. Jane Streep has three grown kids, a thriving Santa Barbara bakery, and an amicable relationship with her ex-husband, Jake Baldwin. Now, a decade after their divorce, an innocent dinner between Jane and Jake turns into the unimaginable, an affair. Caught in the middle of their rekindled romance are Jake's young wife and Adam Martin, a recently divorced architect who starts to fall for her. Jane, could love be? I'm gonna read that over, alright? It makes sense. Excuse me. Now, a decade after their divorce, an innocent dinner between Jane and Jake turns into the unimaginable, an affair. Caught in the middle of their rekindled romance are Jake's young wife and Adam Martin, a recently divorced architect who starts to fall for Jane. Could love be sweeter the second time around? It's Complicated. From writer-director Nancy Myers comes the comedy that critics call laugh out loud funny. Rex Reed, The New York Observer. It's rated R. Universal Pictures presents in association with Relatively Media, a Waverly Film Scott Rundin production. All right, there it is right there. Let's see. Let's see who's else in the film. Moving on. All right, come on. Well, like I said, it's Meryl Streep, Steve Martin, Alec Baldwin, from the writer director of Something's Gotta Give. All right, come on. I want to get to. I really want to. Excuse me. I got a funny story to tell you too. All right. All right, check it out. I'll make sure I see what I can do at the last minute with this. All right. I see what I can do. Or what I'll do is I'll actually get the wiki of the film and I'll add it to this excuse me, this week's folder. Yeah, it's week two. Week two. Check this out. There's two films. It's week two. I got a global Wikipedia list of banned films. So that's our glory hallelujah. All glory be to our Father. All right, there you go. I can see better now. Where's my hat? All right, here you go. We can be here for a really long time. That's all there is to it. Oh, so I got a really funny story to tell you. So I'm actually I really invest in entertainment excuse me, electronic entertainment. I've been dealing with this franchise since about my sophomore year of high school. It's called Blizzard. So I play one of their titles called Diablo, whatever. Like you take it for what it's worth. I don't really want to get into it right now. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about software design. I learned a lot about hardware. I learned a lot about network and security. You understand? But it's pretty much where our future's going. Man, I can light up one. I'm talking about Blizzard. Look at this right here. What are we gonna do? I asked nobody for permission, nothing. So check this out. So I learned this technique, right? I learned many ways to play MMO and how to gain attention, especially for displaying intelligence. You know, you fail at one thing, you just try another way. You know, I had an opportunity to be great in front of the masses for a really long time behind the screen, behind the keyboard. I'm top notch. I'm one of the. I guarantee you. You know what I mean? And I wear a Yankee cap. I'm the best. One of the best. Probably the best. Born and raised in New Jersey, out of Southern Rural Georgia, Alamo. Yeah, probably the best, right? So check this out. So like I learned a strategy called NPC. It's a non-playable character. It's like if you're questing through the game and you pick up a char at like during the stage and like that's the last time you see him for the entire game. Like that's my strategy, right? So one of the reasons why I didn't even continue to play Diablo 2 and when I entered Montclair State University my freshman year of college is because this strategy is probably like one of the longest strategies there is. It's not even my end game strategy. It's actually how I choose to play in front of people. But I take the entire process to collect items and experience to be able to showcase this at the last minute, just to knock you out, right? So I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting ready to do it. I'm putting the build together. At the last minute, I put the build together, and it wipes out the entire East Coast. The entire East Coast goes dark. And I'm like, no, you didn't, Anthony Turner. I was like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. So check this out. My mind said, what are you gonna do about it? And I was thinking about my grandmother. I said, listen, I said, I was thinking about my grandmother, and my grandmother said, he's like, nah, you know I done taught you better than that, right? So I said, you actually did. I said, well, what you gonna do about it, right? Just testing me, you know. I'm like, grandma, cut it out. So I got up and I was a little fearful for letting something happen and not doing anything about it and not being honest. So I went outside, I screamed and yelling, and I did that whole Jennifer Love Hewitt scene from uh uh I Know What You Did Last Summer. Entirely, my hair's not long enough though. It's okay. That's okay. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that. I'm gonna catch up, right? I love that. I love that word. But I went outside. I started talking crazy shit. Like, man, listen, we need guns. We need soldering irons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we need soldering irons. I said, man, we gonna get them. We gonna get them all. We all need to be scared, whatever. So check this out. Listen, this is exactly what happened. Listen, I said, I look before I got out of bed. The first thing that crossed my mind is like, listen, you gonna make me wanna really? I was like, what? Right? So this week's my nickname is I like I wait. I did the hard way. I did it my way. Right? So yeah, today my nickname is I did it my way. Ah, right. Let me this piece of shit right here. Excuse me. But there you go. All right, little frankincense. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You can't get in trouble for that. So this week's movie that film a band film that I'm gonna do. Look, that was 8 minutes. This week's film that I'm gonna do is called All on the Western Front. Right. All right. I'm gonna write that down. I'm just gonna make sure keep things going. The reason why I chose this film is because a lot of sitcoms actually film in according to uh, how the viewer feels comfortable with the experience, no matter what. Look, you can think about anything you want. You always looking at it however you please, even television, whatever. So I actually chose this film because I did like the reason I chose Purity last week, and that was just because it was just basic. It was simple. It was something that we go through every day, and I love television. I love cinema. I love theater, and I just love film, and like I could not like go through anything else, and I'm not having the ability to invest more time than would preferably feel comfortable. So let me get to this, and let me see. I definitely took my time and making sure that I got as much information as needed. The first thing I'm going to do is read the synopsis. All right, everybody's happy. All Quiet on the Western Front. You guys see this cover too. It'll be in the folder. This guy looks really, really gorgeous. Somebody cares about him. You can tell by his jowls. You know, he's grinding his teeth, and he's really getting annoyed. And the the texture of the painting for the cover of the film is absolutely is phenomenal. It's no better. I got a pack of chips here too. We got some Lay's. We got some Lay's right here. You know, trust me. Don't take it for what it's worth. Get your rest, no matter what. Think sensibly, plan ahead. Make sure things happen the way you want them to. All right. We got fight or flight. Fight or flight. If you're gonna fight, make sure you fight. If you're gonna flight, if you're gonna take flight, make sure you take flight. You saw the film. I gotta eat. You know, everybody go get a big bag of Lay's today. If today is a cheat day, go get the bag that's two sizes way too big for one person to finish by themselves and finish it by yourself. Go get a bag of Lay's. All right, check this out. Let me see. Let me read the synopsis for you. Sit up straight, right? All Quiet on the Western Front is a 1930 American pre-Cold epic anti-war film based on the 1929 novel of the same name by the German novelist Erich Maria Remarque. I don't know. It says German. The world. You know what I mean? It's pretty much the cornerstone of the world. You know, World War I, World War II were practically German, right? Or at least to our present knowledge. I had a conversation this week, but I'll keep that to myself, and maybe we'll be able to speak in public one day. All right. Directed by Louis Milestone, it stars Lou Ares, Louise Walheim, Jean Rye, Arnold Lucy, and Ben Alexander. All Quiet on the Western Front opened to wide acclaim in the United States, considered a realistic and harrowing account of warfare in World War One. It made the American Film Institute's first 100 years, 100 movies list in 1997. Let me read that again. Considered a realistic and harrowing account of the warfare in World War One, it made the American Film Institute's first 100 years, 100 movies list in 1997. A decade later, after the same organization polled over 1,501 workers in the creative community, All Quiet on the Western Front was ranked the seventh best American epic film. In 1990, the film was selected and preserved by the United States Library of Congress National Film Registry as being deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. The film was the first to win the Academy Awards for both Outstanding Production and Best Director. It is the first Best Picture winner based on a novel. Its sequel, The Road Back, 1937, portrays members of the Second Company returning home after the war. That's really, really cool. All right, so check this out. Like, there's something about like a fire, right? I was having a conversation. All Quiet on the Western Front. All right. Now, if you think about the United States, right, you got uh like Chicago. You got Chicago fire, right? You got yeah, entirely right. Like the fire department and all that. You know, look. I haven't done any prior research as far as, but the feeling about fire came up, right? So check this out. I was talking to somebody about Reaganomics, right? And the whole thing about Reaganomics is that they had the Watergate scandal, but the Watergate scandal, in my opinion, was just a registry of text text textual information, which is that's prior to documentation. It's like passing notes in class. Watergate. You understand? Water is like it's like un, it's like uncommon housing versus like um, what's that? Poverty, uncommon housing. You understand? It's Reaganomics. So this is like when law enforcement is first introduced into the American public. So so somebody got caught out there, with their bottom hanging out, right? And instead of the government not taking action, they chose to utilize the collection of evidence before processing a crime, and you know what I mean. That's where housing development came from, right? So now, you got the government collecting information and saying, how can we have this much information in one place and not take and not make use of it and charge the person involved, and instead of taking care of the public. So even if you have listen, even if you have drive and motivation and some type of ingenuity and intellect versus what intellect versus intelligence. Intellect is just I got eyes. I'm gonna protect my eyes today. I got glasses on. You understand? So so as far as the nation being involved, just learning and relaying information is a process that's voluntarily, you know composed of just being a human all over the world. All right, that's Reaganomics, and you get money out of it. You understand? Just go out there and take care of yourself. That's Reaganomics. So I got this. I went through this about All Quiet on the Western Front, The Fire, and all that came up, and I started thinking about TV shows. So, but Reaganomics is such a big claim to history that you take into account all all the things that came out of it. You like I said, you got the development of film, television. It's only been around since like the 1900s, but film in actuality has been around before that. You got pictures, you got all these types of documentations. That's just as good as film. Well, the only thing that came out of it is that we found a way to make it uh we found a way to make the process fluent, just like what you're seeing here. So I was talking to somebody about the Salem witch trials, fire. You got like Sabrina the Teenage Witch that used to show on ABC 7. All of these things are composed of making the viewer feel comfortable viewing the film, and there you go, viewing the film and watching viewing the film viewing the film comfortably, and being able to uh to understand the direction where people are coming and going, the simple changes in the human body, the digestion process, so you can pick up on the next thing that's gonna possibly happen. Just like having a cat around. All right, you I was you got Disney. You know what I mean? Disney's been going through this for a long time. Uh, one of the reasons why the corporation or the corporation of Disney may be giving a live live motion picture opportunity is because maybe the United States as a collective is becoming more intelligent, and that's the truth. All right, so yeah. So we got past the sequence. So check out the plot, right? I'm gonna get to the plot, and then I'm gonna give you just one more thing. The next broadcast, I'm gonna make sure I get to the cast because I love war film. Like I said, I'm German Jewish. I'm a Yankees fan. I'm German Jewish Hispanic. I just been documented properly. I'm from Southern Rural Georgia. It's a colony. A lot of this is different. I do this as I've always been interested, but I do this to keep me motivated. Especially, what I mean? I'm 36 years old, and it's time to stop hoping, wishing, and praying. All right. So let's get through the plot right here. Professor Kenoteric Professor Koncharik gives an impassioned speech to his German students about the glory of serving in the army and saving the fatherland. On the brink of becoming men, the boys in his class, led by Paul Baumer, are moved to join the army as the new second company. Their romantic delusions are quickly broken during their brief but rigorous training under the abusive Corporal Himmelstos. Himmelstos. There you go. That's natural. Himmelstos. There you go. I don't want to do it in front of you, but come my way. The new soldiers arrive by train at the chaotic combat zone. One in the group is killed before the recruits can reach their posts, to the alarm of one of the new soldiers buying. The new soldiers are assigned to a unit composed of older, unwelcoming veterans. Having not eaten in days, they pay cigarettes to Corporal Kaczynski, who has stolen a slaughtered hog from a field kitchen, in exchange for a meal. The recruits' first trip to the trenches with the veterans is a harrowing experience during which Bine is killed. And depiction of trench warfare follows with many casualties on both sides. Eventually, they are sent back to the field kitchens to get their rations. Each man receives double helpings simply because of the number of the dead. They hear that they are to return to the front the next day and begin a semi-serious discussion about the causes of war and wars in general. One day, Corporal Hammerstosh arrives at the front and is immediately spurned because of his bad reputation. He is forced to go over the top with the second company and is promptly killed. In an attack on a cemetery, Paul stabs a French soldier and is distraught as he spends the night trapped in a hole with the dying man. He tries and falls to save him and begs for forgiveness. Later, he returns to the German lines and is comforted by Cap. Going back to the front line, Paul is severely wounded and taken to a Catholic hospital. Along with his good friend Albert Kropp, Kropp's leg is amputated and Paul is taken to the bandaging ward, from which, according to his reputation, nobody has ever returned alive. Still, he later returns to the normal rooms triumphantly, only to find Kropp in depression. Paul is given a furlough and visits his family at home. He's shocked by how uninformed and optimistic everyone is about the war's actual situation. When Paul visits the schoolroom where he has originally recruited, he shares his experiences disillusioned with the war to Professor Contretrac and his young students, who call him a coward. Disillusioned and angry, Paul returns to the front and comes upon another second company filled with new young students, who are now all disillusioned. He discusses the people's inability to comprehend the futility of war with Cap. Cap's shin is broken with a bomb dropped by an aircraft falls nearby, so Paul carries him back to the field hospital only to find that a second explosion has killed Cap. Crushed by the loss of his mentor, Paul leaves. In the final scene, Paul is back on the front line. He sees a butterfly just beyond his trench. Smiling, he reaches out for the butterfly. While reaching, however, he is shot and killed by an enemy sniper. The final sequence shows the second company arriving at the front of the first time, fading out to the image of a cemetery. There you have it. There you have it. The novel that is sweeping the world, All Quiet on the Western Front. The budget was 1.2 million. The box office 3 million. Worldwide rentals. They were renting this film. This is really good. This is really good. Running time 152 minutes. 133 minutes restored. Release date April 21st, 1930. Distributed by Universal Pictures Production Company. Universal Pictures. Music by David Brockman. Edited by Edgar Adams, Milton Caruth. Silent version uncredited. Cinematography Arthur Edson. Starring Lou Ayres, Louise Wilhelm. Produced by Carl Lamel. Well, I'm gonna get this one right. I like this one. Produced by Carl Lamel. Produced by Carl Lamar. Carl Lamar. There you go, Junior. Based on All Quiet on the Western Front, 1929 novel by Eric Maria Remarque. Written by Maxwell Anderson, adaptation dialogue, George Abbott, screenplay, Del Andrews, adaptation, C. Gardner Sullivan, supervising story chief. directed by Louis Milestone, theatrical release poster by Karoli Grosk. There you go. All Quiet on the Western Front. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, I gave him I rationalized it for you. I'll get to the competition, and there you go. There you go. There you go. All right. Thanks a lot. Subscribe, like, drop a donation. Help keep things going. Have a good afternoon.